Imagine being just 15. Your world is school corridors filled with laughter, whispered secrets between friends, the electric thrill of first love. Life feels invincible. And then, one ordinary evening, you go out on a date, just a date, a night of shy smiles, nervous excitement, and the promise of something new. But that date never ends. Instead, it spirals into a nightmare so dark, so brutal, that it shakes an entire country to its core. This is the story of Nicole Fernanda Pueri, a bright, innocent 15-year-old girl from Sao Paulo, Brazil, a daughter, a student, a friend, a teenager who should have been safe, who should have grown into her dreams. But on one tragic night, she disappeared. And when she was found, what was left behind was not just a broken body. It was a wound that would haunt a nation. Nicole lived with her family in Mauá, a busy industrial city in Sao Paulo state. She was the kind of girl people remembered easily, always smiling, always willing to help. Teachers praised her for her discipline. Friends adored her for her warmth. At home, she was her parents' pride. Her life was still unfolding, caught between childhood and adulthood, a fragile space where innocence meets the rush of first emotions. Like most teenagers, Nicole was curious about the world outside her home. She loved listening to music, spending time on early internet chat rooms, and, above all, she was discovering love. The dizzying rush of butterflies in the stomach, the reckless trust that comes with youth. And it was this trust that would lead her into the arms of someone who promised romance, but carried something far darker inside. It was a Friday evening in September 2003. Nicole told her parents she was going out. For them, it was a small step toward independence, something every teenager craves. She was going to meet a boy. To Nicole, it felt exciting, even magical, the anticipation of her very first date. Her heart must have been pounding as she left home, her footsteps light, her mind filled with the fantasies every young girl dreams of. Her parents watched her go, not knowing it was the last time they would ever see her alive. But the night stretched on. Midnight came and went. Nicole never returned. At first, her family clung to excuses. Maybe she lost track of time. Maybe her phone died. But by dawn, the excuses turned to dread. They reported her missing, voices trembling as they described their daughter. 15, long hair, a gentle smile. She wouldn't run away, they said. She wasn't that kind of girl. For 2 agonizing days, the family lived between hope and despair. Posters went up, friends searched, neighbors whispered. And then, the call came. In a vacant lot near Mauá, someone had discovered a body. Police rushed to the scene. What they found was horrifying. The body of a young girl, beaten, discarded like trash. A mother's scream echoed in the police station when she was told it was Nicole. Brazil woke up to the headlines. A 15-year-old schoolgirl, lured into what she believed was love, had been brutally murdered. Her life ended before it had even begun. Across Sao Paulo, fear spread. Because if it could happen to Nicole, it could happen to anyone's daughter. Investigators moved quickly. They pieced together Nicole's final hours, tracing her steps, her phone calls, her last known contacts. The truth that emerged was sickening. Nicole had been charmed and lured by a 21-year-old man named Douglas. He was older, persuasive, and knew exactly how to manipulate a vulnerable teenager searching for love. To Nicole, he was exciting. To Douglas, she was prey. That night, he convinced her to meet him. But what Nicole thought was a romantic encounter was nothing more than a trap. She was taken, assaulted, and murdered in cold blood. Betrayed by the very person she thought she could trust. When Douglas was arrested, the nation erupted in outrage. Parents across Brazil looked at their daughters and felt the icy chill of fear. Teenagers, too, realized the dangers hiding in plain sight. This wasn't just another crime statistic. This was a child. Nicole was supposed to be protected. Instead, she became another name in Brazil's long list of young women destroyed by violence. In the courtroom, the details of Nicole's final moments left the jury horrified. The prosecution laid out the evidence. Douglas had planned it, targeted her, and carried out the crime with chilling cruelty. Nicole's parents sat in silence, their faces pale, their hands clenched, as they listened to the story of how their daughter's trust was twisted into her destruction. Douglas showed little remorse. To him, Nicole was just another victim. But the weight of evidence crushed him. He was convicted and sentenced. Yet even behind prison bars, there was no justice equal to the pain Nicole's family felt. No sentence could ever bring her back. But Nicole's story did not vanish. It echoed. It sparked debates in schools, in homes, on television screens across Brazil. People began asking, how can we protect our daughters? How do we stop predators from preying on children so easily? Nicole's name became a warning, a symbol of the vulnerability of youth. And yet, in the silence after the protests faded and the news cycle moved on, one truth remained. Nicole was gone. Her bedroom, still filled with the posters she loved, the notebooks she scribbled in, the stuffed toys she hugged at night, stood frozen in time. Her parents, every night, were forced to relive the moment they saw her walk out the door, not knowing it was goodbye. Sometimes, the most haunting part of a crime is not the brutality of the act itself, but the way it shatters ordinary life. Nicole's story was not just about violence, it was about trust, about how the most innocent desires, love, freedom, independence, can be twisted into something deadly in the wrong hands. Today, when people in São Paulo remember Nicole, they don't just think of the crime. They think of the lesson her story carries. Be cautious, be aware, because evil does not always wear the face of a stranger. Sometimes it smiles sweetly, sometimes it promises love, and sometimes it waits patiently for the perfect moment to strike. Nicole Fernanda Poeri was 15. She had dreams of finishing school, of growing up, of living. But all of that was stolen because she trusted the wrong person. Her story shocked Brazil. It broke hearts, and it left behind a chilling reminder that sometimes the people you trust most are the ones you should fear the most. So the next time someone tells you to be careful, to think twice before meeting someone new, remember Nicole. Remember the date that was supposed to be magical, but instead ended in tragedy. Because one night of misplaced trust ended her forever. And that is the nightmare her family still wakes up to. How many more Nicoles are out there, silenced by violence, forgotten by time? How many more stories like this one will we have to tell before something changes? If you're listening right now, hold on to this story. Don't let Nicole's name fade away. And most of all, stay safe. Because in a world like this, sometimes survival depends on the people you don't trust.